now introduce one of his opponents, fighting out of Abergavenny, Ethan. Super middleweight division. Introducing first in the wearing the white and green and red. Weighing 7'4" pounds, ends the Olympic time. From Iran, Bahadur Karami. And opponents in the new corner, black and red. Weighing 75 kilograms. He is undefeated at 4 wins. From
Finally here live. Apologies for the technical issues. Myself and Richie Gardner, we've got Ethan George in a tough contest. Sum up what's been happening, Rich?
Well, we're back on board now, and incredibly, we've had an incredible first round. This guy, this Iranian, very tough race of people. You know, I mean, everybody knows the Iranians are very, very tough. And he said he was going to come, and he said he was going to push Ethan back. He said he was going to meet him in the centre of the ring, and he has lived up to that promise. In fact, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say he's won that round.
Wow.
So he's taken that first
So
round.
there we are. Richie Gardner's going for the away fighter. I've
taken
marked
that
that down. Remember, Ethan, if you watch this back, Richie has scored the first round to Karami, the fighter from
Iran.
7 contests, just a 1 victory, 5 defeats and 1 draw.
This man promised before the fight started that he was going to take the fight to Ethan. He's going to stand in the centre of the ring. I'm more than happy to trade with him. He's kept his guard tight. He's thrown more shots than Ethan. Ethan needs to get back to... Brett Parry, fantastic trainer from Rwanda. He has been imploring. He's been imploring him to get on the jab, to use his boxing. And of course, he stood in front of this guy and he just hasn't thrown enough shots. He's caught some lovely body shots. He's caught some lovely big shots. The guy's definitely taken the first round. Karami has definitely taken the first round. Ethan needs to get to his boxing, dominate this guy behind the jab and wait for the hole to open up. He's trying to force things. Can't force things against this guy.
Into the second round after a really exciting first round, which we think, or Richie Gardner thinks, went the away fighter. Oh, both fighters trade shots.
And Ethan's on the jab. 3 left jabs to start and a lovely forceful jab. And what he needs to do, he needs to throw these jabs and move. It's no good throwing these jabs and staying there for the guy to hit him.
And Karami is actually pushing Ethan George back at the moment. He may not be landing the most shots, but he is the fighter. Oh, that's a good right hand.
Lovely right hand. Absolutely fantastic right hand. Karami's throwing that right hand. Lovely right hand, right hook. Referee gets in the way. Ethan George turns him, and we're back to the centre of the ring. Karami.
Lovely jab from Karami.
Crunching jab from Karami. Left, right hooks. Ethan George brings it up through the middle. He's got to get back on that job. He's got to stay out of range. Again, a right hand from Karami.
This is Ethan George's 5th professional contest and certainly the toughest he's had to date. Nice left hook to the body from Ethan George. But Karami fires back with shots of his own as he forces Ethan George onto the ropes. And Karami, wow, he's unloaded the heavy shots.
Just going for it. He looks incredibly fit as well, Kieran. And he's
Ethan George takes a right hand.
Another right hand. He's got to keep that left hand up. He's got to guard against that right hook because Karami loves it. He absolutely loves it. Ethan George looking for the referee to separate them, but there's no reason to separate them.
Ethan George's corner just turned in front of us and they're screaming at their man. Oh, lovely left hook to the body.
But he had the right hand going in there, right uppercut. Another left hook. And he's doing the right thing. He needs to bring those hands down so he can get back on the jab and dominate from the outside. Ethan George talking to the referee now. Doesn't need to talk to the referee. He needs to throw more punches.
Ethan George just did what he used to do in the amateurs there. He dipped to his left to throw the left hook. A punch he used to always use in his amateur days, which got him so many knockouts. But this is pro boxing where the opponents are a little bit tougher and need a little bit of more imagination to set the shots up.
Uppercut on the inside from Karami, followed by a right. Ethan George goes with the left hook again. And now he's going toe to toe now and he's trading with him. Brett Parry screaming at him from the home corner. And you can see Karami's a little bit marked up over his left eye, but Ethan George looking for the big shot again.
This is great action here on the ropes, just above our position. Richie Gardner's been called off for some other duties, I'm not quite sure what. You'll get this on Sky Sports. And this is great action here in the centre of the ring and the boxers trading punches. And Ethan George is just trying so hard to land that knockout punch. I think he needs to be boxing a little bit more, try and set things up. But that's a good shot from George.
George trading with him again. Karami not taking a backward step, uppercuts, hooks. Back of the head there for Ethan George. Karami doesn't care, he just wants to get the shots off.
What a round.
Who would you give that to, Kieran?
It's very close. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they give it as an even round. I know the Board of Control prefer a winner and a loser at the round, but I mean, that was a 50-50, I think.
You wouldn't be shocked if maybe Karami edged it, let's be honest. I mean, he threw a few more shots, but Ethan George did go and throw some lovely shots to the body. Left hooks to the body in particular were quite eye-catching. And you can see that Brett Parry is not happy in the corner. He is literally reading the riot act to Ethan George. He is fuming in there. And, you know, you've got a tremendous amount of experience in that corner. I mean, you know, Alex, absolutely fantastic.
Alex Hughes, that is, ex-professional boxer.
And, you know, he's not getting a word in edgeways, Alex. I mean, you might benefit from Alex's words of advice, but, you know, ultimately, Brett Parry is fuming, and you can tell he's telling him, get behind the jab. You're going to lose this fight if you don't get behind the jab and start boxing.
Karami up off his stool, a good 10 seconds before the start of the round. He can't wait to get back down to action. Big chance of Ethan go up around the arena, or around the market hall here in Abergavenny.
From Ethan George there, left-right combination. That's what he needs to stick to. Level this guy, left-right combination, get in there.
Oh, Ethan George took a big right hand.
He's just crunching that right hand around the back of the guard. George with his left hand low now. Do you think he's feeling the pace a little bit? Lovely right hand again from Karami.
Even though he was hoping for this type of contest, I don't think Ethan George was mentally prepared for it.
Karami just bundling forward again. Right hand over the top of that low left hand from Ethan George, and eats another right. George back on the jab though, catching Karami.
Ethan George is definitely using the jab a lot more. So he took a big right hand as he gets manoeuvred onto the ropes.
And a shot to the back of the head, which is going to get him a rebuke from Reece Carter. Karami driving him back to the home corner, and he's got to fight his way out of this. He's got to find his way out of his own corner.
Oh, it was a good shot from Ethan George.
Lovely left right from Ethan George, and another left right.
The right hand landed on the temple of Karami.
Karami is not looking to hold at all. He's looking for no break in the action. Lovely left hook from Ethan George to the body, but Karami comes around the side of his lead left with a crunching right hook.
This has been non-stop action. I'd love to see the punch stats for this fight if someone was taking them.
Fantastic straight right from Karami, and he's just not stopped throwing now. We're coming towards the end of the third round. Right, left hook.
Karami just landed a few short uppercuts on the inside. Can't quite see, the referee's blocking our view. And he loads up the uppercut again, and Ethan George staggers back a touch.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9
What a
shots
contest
from
this
Karami.
is.
Ethan
Amazing
George comes
action.
back 2 or 3, but Karami's throwing 5, 6, 7, 8 shots
Karami
every single time. Big
looking for the uppercuts here now.
Oh, big left up from Ethan George, and he's gone back to the body. Lefts and rights from Ethan George. Probably the best contest I've seen for a while, and Ethan George is being dragged. He's being dragged into this.
This is probably the best small hall contest I've watched in many years. A lovely right hand to the body from Karami.
Leads to the right to the body, left hook around the guard then, and Ethan George fires back, but he's looking a little bit tired and looking to hold Kieran.
Ethan George is fighting probably most of his fight on the back foot. He's constantly giving ground, even though he is throwing punches. But Karami is the fighter pushing forward.
George is mouth open, gulping in here. Big left up from Ethan George, and he looks to capitalise with another left up, another right from Ethan George. Has he hurt Karami?
Karami just shakes his head and sneers.
Good Lord, this kid's tough. This kid's tough. Ethan George continues to look for the big shot. Throws in a big right hand, but it catches Karami behind the head. Karami goes back to work. 10 seconds left. Still Karami. Karami finishes the round strong. We can see an upset here, Kieran. It's on the cards.
So you're giving that round to?
That's Karami's round.
Karami.
He's 2 rounds up, maybe 1 draw. George might just need the knockout at this stage.
Wow, what a contest
I'm
this has
practically
been.
sat on your lap. I'm so excited.
That's what I'm getting worried about, Rich. That's what I'm getting worried about.
When I start touching you under the table, then you can start to get worried.
Well, that's what I get excited about. And the referee, Reece Carter, he might have a tough decision on his hands here now. There's 1 more round to go. And Karami, the away fighter, he's put up a hell of a scrap.
What a tough guy. We know Iranians are tough. He promised he was going to bring it today, and he has delivered.
Ethan George told me earlier he actually texted Karami or sent him a message on Instagram telling him he wanted to fight in the middle of the ring, and Karami
Careful what you wish for.
He stepped up the plate and he's given Ethan George a war. The fighters touch gloves.
Ethan George needs to drag himself up now. He needs to bring something from the well. He needs to throw non-stop. He's got to win this round convincingly. Lovely uppercut from George, and another one, followed by a left hook. He's digging away. Karami comes back though. Ethan George initiates the clinch, and Karami's happy to work in the clinch.
I mean, this fight could all depend on this final round. Lovely left hand from George. And there's the uppercuts again from Karami.
Lovely left hook from Ethan George. Maybe that one shook him a little bit, but Karami just goes back to work on the inside, and he's back to the body, and Ethan George is eating left and right to the body, and he looks at the referee because again Karami's gone to the back of the head, which he has gone and done a couple of times in the lead through this round.
Karami again trying to get uppercuts through the guard of George. George fires back. This really is non-stop action.
There has been barely a break in the action throughout this entire 4-rounder. And Ethan George hits a right uppercut and a right hook. And he's looking to score with a left hook. You can see he's just looking to throw that big left hook.
Ethan George in the away corner, taking shots.
Karami with that cuffing right hand again. Uppercut from Karami. Uppercut. Right hook from Karami. George is on the ropes and looking to hold.
Ethan George is looking really tired. Needs to get out of that corner now. Trying to circle into the middle of the ring.
Where's that equaliser?
He hasn't got the legs.
Where's that equaliser? He needs that big
He needs
hook.
that equaliser now. Ethan George.
Surely we're at least halfway through the round now. Ethan George looking for
Ethan
that.
George
Here it
just
is again.
biting down his gum shield and firing
Karami
back.
just doesn't look troubled at all. And Ethan George gulps in the air, throws his head back. He's desperate for oxygen, and Karami just crashes into him again and goes to work on the inside, and the referee has to split them. Big shout of Ethan from the crowd. They're trying to cheer up, and Ethan George goes to work, but Karami matches him punch for punch. Ethan George being pushed back now, and the referee pulls him apart. Karami well up for it, steps in, straight right uppercut. Ethan George counters with a left hook, but he gets pushed back to the ropes, and Karami crashes a left right into his face.
Left hand catches Ethan George as he's on the ropes again. He spent so much of this contest stuck on those ropes, and the referee Rhys Carter's telling off Karami.
Final warning, maybe a point off. Is he going to throw this fight away with warnings and perhaps lose a point? Oh, lovely uppercut, right uppercut, right
What
hook
a
from
fight
Karami.
this is!
Ethan George sucks in the air from Karami's shoulder. He's desperate. He needs to throw a straight right left hook, I would say.
Ethan George just takes a big uppercut and he staggers slightly, and again Ethan George is on the ropes. He spent so much of this contest.
Karami
Ethan George,
that's the shot. Stop him with the right, throw a left up. Karami just walks through him like it doesn't matter.
last 10 seconds of the contest, and what a contest this has been. Fair play to both these warriors, and they fight right up until the final bell. What a contest that was.
Incredible contest. Karami looks at the home corner, shrugs his shoulders as if to say, I think I've done enough. And perhaps he has.
I'm just going to bring in, do you mind us bringing in Paul? Got to bring in Paul Speak, well-known face on the British boxing scene. How do you see that fight going, Paul?
That was a cracking small old fight. I think the favourite's no longer the favourite anymore. I think we've got a new favourite.
Betting in play, I've got Ethan George at perhaps 4-1.
Yeah,
going into the final round.
I think, to be fair, I think the first round, as you said, was a draw, and I think that the last 3 rounds you've got to give it to the other guy. It's a cracking fight, one of the best small old fights I've seen for a while. But I think you need a bulldozer to knock him down.
I tell you what, that Iranian lad is so tough. His intensity was incredible. His fitness was incredible. He'll be a good test for anybody. At this level, if you want to test your prospect, book this guy.
I don't think you want to test him.
So here we go to Ricky Wright and the decision.
Karami looks very confident, doesn't he, Kieran? Arm in the air, going into the crowd. Ethan George,
Karami's
a bit resigned to his feet.
Karami's body language is looking good.
Rhys Carter scores about 39 to 37 in favour of your winner, Bahadur Karami.
Ethan George loses his unbeaten record. Karami looked absolutely fantastic. He wouldn't be denied. And I'm pleased for Karami because, of course, it's good to see in a away fight you get a fair shake. Rhys Carter, honest referee, given an honest decision. Karami goes away with it. I'm gutted for Ethan George. A Flackley boy loses his unbeaten record, but he will learn from that, Kieran, and maybe it's not the worst thing in the world.